Welcome to episode 2. Today we're going to be covering fibromyalgia symptoms and pain. It's in the title, but YouTube requires me to reassure you that the reason you clicked on this video is in fact the information that will be shared. All right, let's get cracking.
Marijuana is the most prevalent narcotic among juveniles. The pattern of escape is established. Many then try heroin, the step to narcotic addiction.
No. Go sit in the lounge. Go. Before I was diagnosed, I never knew all my symptoms correlated together. I've been able to mitigate more of them, and as a result, I've eliminated a few of those. For those of you who don't have fibromyalgia or you're not formally diagnosed, this is also a good way to just cross-check the following list items and see maybe which ones does apply to you, because it might actually help you in your journey towards a diagnosis. The other aspect of it as well is that it's so easy to dismiss some of the symptoms and think, oh, well, everybody has this, it's normal. A lot of these aren't normal. And one thing that I've learned is that there's pain that just affects you when it's there. But when it's ongoing chronic pain, it does change who you are. So without further ado, let's get into it. There are 4 main symptoms that I want to kick this off with. The first one is widespread pain throughout the whole body, with particularly your neck and your back. So lower back pain, stiffness in the shoulders. The second one is tiredness and fatigue and just a general lack of feeling well rested and like you just don't have any energy. Another one that kind of ties into that one as well is not sleeping very well. Generally feeling like your sleep is quite disrupted. I get this a lot where I feel a lot of times I'm tossing and turning. I've got a very big recollection of moments throughout the night. Number 4 is aching and stiffness. Generally, this gets worse with activity or when you just stress the body a bit more. I experience this particularly when I go gym. So there's a bit of a catch-22 there because I'm stiff and sore, and then I go train, which makes me feel more mobile, but then my delayed onset muscle soreness is just much worse than my partner's. So those are the main 4 ones, and now I want to break it down into a bit more of a detailed list. So more fibromyalgia symptoms include forgetfulness and poor concentration. Stress, worry, or a low mood, you know, because you normally feel like you want to cry, you just feel a little bit defeated. Tingling, numbness, and swelling of hands and feet. Number 4, headaches. This one I used to get quite a lot before I changed my diet. I would have a headache every single day. 5, restless leg syndrome. I find this especially in the evening where you just have like a tingling sensation through your legs. That's normal. 6, irritability and just feeling like you want to cry a lot of the times. 7, feeling like you urgently have to wee. Painful menstrual periods, especially with women. Obviously it's with women. I've actually mitigated that one really well. I don't get really painful periods anymore. Number 9, this one's normally separately diagnosed as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, constipation, and stomach pains. The abdominal area, it's just generally irritated. Number 10 is an increased sensitivity to temperatures, knocks and bumps. Fibromyalgia symptoms will get worse when it's colder or when it's really hot, as well as humid weather. Tender or overly sensitive muscles and joints. That's the whole list. The pain generally feels like it affects your whole body. I read a really interesting study. People with fibromyalgia symptoms generally get worse around midnight. The closer you get to midnight, the more pain you'll experience. A lot of people reported that their symptoms seem to get increasingly worse in extreme temperatures. People often say that besides the pain, fatigue is actually the worst symptom, and I agree. When I've had fatigue, it just feels like you can't do anything. That's really bad. Like being able to combat fatigue is quite a big one, and I think a lot of people can relate with this one. It also very much impacts your ability to remember things, which is often referred to as fibro fog or brain fog. It just kind of feels like you're thinking of that word, or you're thinking of something to say, or you walk into a room and you're kind of like, why did I walk in here? You had a thought and it's just gone. Like it's your inability to grab onto that thought. Have you ever had that dream where you play tennis and you just can't get the ball to go over the net? That's kind of like how frustrating brain fog is. You know you should be able to remember it or do something and it's gone. Next up, I want to refer to the fibromyalgia tender points. I'm going to put a little graph up on the screen. I actually found really good ways of rolling out and stretches and things that does help these tender points, so I'll do a separate video on that. I just wanted to highlight the areas that this resonates within. Something I just want to say as like a last leaving thought, we need a different pain level scale. I often get asked, if you could rate your pain from 0 to 10, what would it be? It's never ever a 0. That pain scale is really redundant. I find that on good days I'm between a 3 and 4 up to about a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I can still do my job. I find that anything between 9 and like 15 out of 10, and yes, 15 out of 10 is how bad it feels for me sometimes. That is when it becomes really difficult to focus, just keep my emotional feelings in check, being able to regulate my mood and control myself. That heightens my stress as well, and when your stress goes up, everything gets worse. But my theory generally is that people with fibromyalgia are very high functioning people because we live in chronic pain and we're still able to hold down jobs, to have relationships, albeit it can be really difficult. The point is, it's so commendable that we are able to get through life successfully. Fibromyalgia can be physically and mentally draining. But if you can learn to manage it, you can drastically reduce the impact that fibromyalgia has on your life. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, I realized I haven't had a single sip of water. I'll see you guys soon. Remember, perspective is everything. Just focus on the good things and remember to do what you love.